Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to another episode of the South Carolina Gamecocks Dynasty here on EA Sports College Football 25 as the 15th ranked 6-3 South Carolina Gamecocks play host to the 4-5 Mississippi State Bulldogs today in a game that's probably the lesser conference game we'll play this year. Mississippi State on paper is the worst team in the SEC that we are playing this year. A far cry from playing the Floridas and the Georgias and the Tennessees and the Kentuckys like we have been doing. But we've lost this game before against Mississippi State, so we cannot take this team lightly, especially if you want to keep track in the CFP race. If you're excited for this one, make sure you drop that like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more Dynasty Mode content, as it will be Mississippi State starting off with the football. We'll see their offense take the field, led by former Incarnate Word transfer at quarterback, Alan Mock, the former FCS player who's found his home here at Mississippi State. He'll start with his own 25, going to the air, and he's got all day to throw. Checks it down short where this one is caught. Mock has not had the best season, though, so to speak. He's completed exactly 50% of his passes coming into this year, and, well, Mississippi State's 4-5 is on the next play. Andy Everett finds his way into the backfield, completely blows that play up. And now Mississippi State faces an early 3rd and 11, but they get a man to jump on a draw that's not even going to come close to the first down marker, but Angel Casey jumped over the line. That play should have ended the drive. Instead, it's going to give the Bulldogs another chance as they sit now 3rd and 6. This time they will pass it. 5 men in the pattern, looks at the marker, and he's got it. So the drive stays alive after the penalty. As you can see the numbers from last week, Mock was not good. Only 30% of his passes complete. But here's a nice strike up the seam here. That one goes for big to the tight end, Glenn Copper. And now Mississippi State's at the 41, firmly taking advantage of that penalty. Mock across the middle, another nice throw, and he's inside the 25. Mississippi State starting to get going. They're reaching out the back here on first down. They throw it that way. Jordan Davis with it. The senior halfback's got 3. Now 2 tight ends in the formation. It's a play fake. Mock keeps his eyes downfield, and, well, he throws it out of the back of the end zone. So that one's incomplete. And now it's another 3rd down for the Bulldogs. Mock throws it at the marker. Got his tight end Copper, who fights for the first down. And this drive stays alive. Mock's number is 2,100 yards, 17 touchdowns, 5 interceptions this season. As now here he is at the 13 with a handoff to Jordan Davis, who will get 2 yards. 2nd and 8, the freshman Jeff Cantwell checks in, and it will be dumped off short for the 3-star from New Orleans, who makes it 3rd and 4 from the 7. Mock to throw forward again. As man short, throws it that way. This one's caught. It's goal to go for the Dogs. On the half-yard line, Mock takes the snap. Quick throw, and is caught for a touchdown. And Mississippi State, right after that offsides penalty, goes right down the field and takes a 7-0 lead. We'll see the South Carolina offense for the first time today, as we'll start with the ground to Sonny Doro, picks up 9, who had a great return to the lineup last week. 30 attempts for 166 yards. Firmly taking his spot as the number 1 halfback on this team is the junior, as he picks up a first down on the very next play. Mississippi State, though, one thing interesting, has a very good linebacker core, something we haven't seen this season, as we like to go across the middle a lot. So Mississippi State should be able to kind of counteract that. After a 4-yard run, Brock throws forward on 2nd and 6, rolls to his left, and throws this one out of bounds. Had Gallegos in the area, but just dumped it away. 3rd and 6 now, setting up a screen for Dora, who has it, and he's going to get to the marker for a first down. Just gets what he needs. Next play, they're going to hand it off to Dora, who goes left side, gets a good block out there from Vernon Ryder. And now South Carolina will enter Mississippi State territory. From the 41, here comes a blitz. They swing it out to Dora. This one behind the line. Actually, that's Keenan Todia. So technically, this is a run for Todia, and that's one of the better runs he's had on the season. Only 511 yards, 6 touchdowns, though, for Todia. But 4 of those, remember, came in the East Carolina game early in the season. Here's a 4-yard give back to Dora. Makes it 2nd and 6, and then go right back to him. Almost the same play. And now South Carolina's run game starting to get going. It's a goal-to-go trip here for the Gamecocks. From the 10, Brock to throw, though. Quickly pressured and just dumps it away out of bounds. Try it again now in the pistol. They hand it off to Dora, right side. Cuts it back left, and he picks up 5 on his 7th carry. Now 5 yards to go, and it's going to be a strike to Danny Cribbs for a touchdown. And South Carolina will answer with a touchdown of their own, bringing it all tied up at 7-7 as we go to the end of the first quarter. Both drives looked Pretty impressive for the offenses on different ways. Carolina running the football well, while Mississippi State has been gashing this secondary with only 1 yard rushing and 93 passing. They'll start the second quarter at the 49 of South Carolina. Here's another nice throw to the left side. Mock, who's only completed 50% of his passes this season, has looked incredible in the early portion of this game. Here's another pass that'll up that percentage. It's a first down out wide. Mock only 14 for 15 on the day. Only one incompletion. That was a throw out the back of the end zone. Here's a nice 7-yard run to Jordan Davis, his best of the day. It's now 2nd and 3. Back to the air. Mock with a beautiful throw. That is a next level type throw to Craig Bruner. Don't know where this Mock has showed up. Is now a goal to go. And, well, we get another guy to jump off sides. Come on, guys. You cannot bite on every single hard count. So instead of goal to go from the 3, it's goal to go from the 1.5, and they hand it off, and they will get the touchdown. Jordan Davis with his 2nd on the season, and Mississippi State pushes it back up 14-7. So now South Carolina's turn to answer. 1st and 10 from their own 48. Here's a run outside for Dora, who gets an impressive 2 yards. Only 2, but he had to break a couple tackles to do it. 2nd and 8 now. Brock to throw. Looks across the middle, and Cribbs will come away with it in a very contested grab. Been very impressed with his hands. He's been one of the better receiving tight ends we've had in this series. And he gets us out to the 37. Frank McCord drops it. Speaking of hands, his have not been good this season. He adds another drop to his record. And on 2nd and 10, Brock is sacked. Tries to step up. Runs into Brett McHugh for his 8th sack of the season. Now 3rd and 14. Brock will immediately roll out. And he will throw this one downfield where it's wildly inaccurate and out of bounds. So Mississippi State forces the punt. They'll stay up on this one as here's a mid-screen that works for a gain of 9. And again, Mississippi State's at about midfield. That was Morgan Morency, the leader for the receiving corps of the Bulldogs. 2nd and 1, Perkins finds the backfield, but Davis breaks the tackle and gets a first down. Mississippi State's offense has been almost unstoppable today. Here's another great throw across the middle. Wide open is Okafor, who cooks the corner on that play. Our defense has really struggled in the early portion of this one. I thought this was an offense we should be able to stifle, especially after we just beat Florida, who had a much better offense. 2nd and 7 now, a draw play, and Davis will have a little more success this time, picking up 4. He's got 9 carries, 40 yards, and a touchdown. 3rd and 3, empty. Mock throws it. This one incomplete, and Mississippi State will try the field goal. And the kick from the left hash will be up, and it will be no good. He doesn't curve it enough. That's a miss for Cam Ravitz, and now it's still 14-7 as we reach the 2-minute warning. South Carolina with it, 2nd and 3. A quick pass to Cribbs that will guarantee the first down. South Carolina does get the ball at the half, so a chance for them to go get some double-dip points, some much-needed points here. 1st and 10, Dora Shorts will gain 9. South Carolina will get back to the line. They're draining some clock. They don't want to give Mississippi State any time. Clock is at 1 minute. 2nd and 1 is hit as he throws. Brock finds Gallegos for the first down. Clock will momentarily stop, and now we're at 40 seconds. Brock quickly wants to run, but he's sacked. That is Josh Bouchard with his 4th on the season. Loss of 2. South Carolina burns their first timeout. Brock back to the air, rolls to his left, sets, fires as a man downfield, and oh, it's just broken up. A great play by the safety Jake Paquette to knock that one away. That could have been 6. Instead, it's now 3rd and 12. Brock to throw across the middle, a strike to Vernon Ryder. Beautiful throw, beautiful catch, beautiful first down. Inside 30 seconds, though, Brock hurries to the line, just steps up, chucks this one for Dora down. Gains 4. South Carolina will use timeout number 2 with 18 seconds to go. Next play, Brock steps up to run. He's trying to outrun the defense up the middle, and this time he'll find the end zone. Touchdown, Gamecocks. Shaquille Brock on the ground ties it up at 14. And that'll take us to the half. A hotly contested game here in Columbia, South Carolina. Mississippi State taking it to South Carolina. Like I've said, the Bulldogs are a team in the past that have given us fits. Despite their status as one of the lower teams in the conference, they have tied us up here behind the passing game, led by Alan Mock, surprisingly. Like I said, Gamecocks start with the second half of the football, though. They're on 25. Here's a touch pass to Gallegos, and there's a flag down. It's going to be a holding call against the Gamecocks. And again, we just cannot get out of our own way. Every time we get a good play, it comes back. Shaquem Cruz, the culprit. So now you're 1st and 20 right out of the half as you hand it off to Dora, who has nowhere to go. Smothered by a couple of Bulldogs led by Tyler Costanzo. 2nd and 20 now. Brock off the play fake, and he's quickly underneath pressure. No protection. That was incomplete. And now you face a 3rd and 20. Brock the throw for it. Goes deep down the sideline, and this one's knocked away by Beckett. And incomplete, and South Carolina will go 3 and outs out of the break. Mississippi State off the punt has good field position too, like I should say, at their own 49, as they swing this one out wide for Morency, who gains 7. Mox only had 2 incompletions today. We'll see if we can stop that in the second half, as on 2nd and 3 they go to the ground, and there's a nice tackle on Davis to ensure he doesn't get the first. So now a 3rd and 1 for the Bulldogs. And they will go play action. Mock throws it short. It's just soft coverage, man. You got to come up on that, Haslam. You can't make the play. Mississippi State gets a first down. Next play, it's a handoff to Davis. Maurice Bone is there as he picks up 2. 2nd and 8 now. 2 tight ends, both going out in the pattern. It's a third right side, though, and this was caught by Okafor, who's had a good game, and moves the chains. Mississippi State's passing attack continues to be unstoppable, as here they go with a wide screen to Okafor, but this time he only gets 1. Mock's still only 2 incompletions on the day. 2nd and 9, this will help across the middle, and this one's going to be a first down, as that time Craig Bruner with his 5th of the day. Mississippi State continues to just move the football down the field. Here's a nice running lane for Davis. He gets to the 2nd level, picks up 9. Mississippi State center also today, Oscar Ness, has been insane up the middle. You should watch him on some of these run plays. Goal to go now here. 2 tight ends for Mississippi State at the 5 as they go up the middle. Play fake, free rusher, but it's wide open in the back of the end zone for Mississippi State. A beautiful throw. We get bit on the play action again, and Mississippi State will capitalize. They're up 21-14 as we have no answer for Alan Mock out of all players. So here comes the next drive for South Carolina. We'll start on the ground and gain 4. They go back to it on 2nd down, and Dora will get the first down. 13 for 85 for him. At about midfield now, quick pass for Beck, who gets involved today. The first catch for the true freshman from Indian Trail, North Carolina. Out to the 40 of South Carolina. Bootleg for Brock. He just checks it short for Cribbs, and he'll take what he can get, picking up 4. 5th catch of the day for the tight end as it makes it now 2nd and 6. And Brock will go with the bubble screen out wide for Gallegos, who gets a first and a nifty spin to get a couple of extra yardage. Down to the 22 goes South Carolina now. Bringing a man in motion across the formation. They pitch the touch pass, and wide open out of the backfield is Sonny Dora, who will find the end zone for a touchdown. And we're all knotted up at a piece 21. Going into the 4th quarter, as it's been a pretty back-and-forth game. Both teams have scored a touchdown each of the 3 quarters. This brought us to this tie game. Here's a look at the top 25. South Carolina 15 on the outside looking in. But a big win here today would help things out. Start the 4th quarter, 3rd and 3 with Jordan Davis up the middle. That's what I'm talking about. Ness just completely moves Bodden out of the way, completing that huge hole and keeping the drive alive. Now to the 36 now. Handoff for Davis, but he's smothered. Beautiful play that time by Enrique Leal, who doesn't get as many snaps as he used to. He gets a nice TFL there. That'll help. 3rd and 12, setting up the screen outside for Davis. It's a foot race, and he won't get there. Inches shy. Mississippi State will take the 3, as this time from the right hash will make it down the middle. So Mississippi State takes a 24-21 lead as we come inside 10 minutes left to go in this game. South Carolina about midfield. Brock making some adjustments on 1st down. Rolls to his right, fires a beautiful throw to Gallegos. They say he's complete, but they'll quickly change it to incomplete as he didn't drag his toes. Now 3rd and 5. Brock again making an adjustment. Sees some pressure. Mississippi State backs off, but Cribbs is wide open up the middle. I want to see more of those hook throws. They've been open all game, but they haven't thrown them enough. 1st and 10 for the 33. Here's Brock to throw right side. This one's lobbed and it's intercepted. Picked off by Blair Sams, and he's got green grass in front of him, but Brock will track him down. He just lobbed that one outside. And Sams takes advantage. We're lucky that's not a pick 6. They at least get to 3rd and 2, trying to get the offense off the field. But a nice throw up the middle, and Mock continues to just be automatic today. 6 for 51, a touch for Craig Bruner. So 1st and 10 for the 14, handoff to Davis, who meets Angel Casey right up the gut. He gets his first tackle today. Now 3rd and 7. Mock the throw, looks right side, and Copper won't get it, inches shy. Mississippi State will kick the field goal. Awkward angle from the right hash, and it's no good, so they get nothing off the interception. And South Carolina stays in this game. They're at the 2-minute warning, and we have a chance to drive down the field and steal this game. 2nd and 13 after the momentarily break. Brock will run it, and he will get 12. Now a big 3rd down and 1. Brock in the gun as he will take it. They will throw for it, checking it short. Gallegos holds on, and they will move the chains. Now South Carolina will start to work some clock and hopefully score a touchdown. Next play, Brock to throw. He gets hit almost immediately. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 now. Brock steps up again. Pressure in his face. Has nowhere to go. I mean, the pass to protection has not been good. Brock doesn't have a lot of time to throw. Now it's quickly 3rd and 10. Brock looks left side and a beautiful throw to Gallegos. That is a next level type of throw. He dives and gets the 1st down. South Carolina will hurry back to the line, make sure there's no look at it. As the next play, Brock just throws it out of bounds. Bootleg well covered. 2nd and 10 now. Back to the air they go, and Brock quickly hit as he throws again. Pressure almost immediately up the middle, and now it's 3rd and 10. Heavy blitz from Mississippi State. They counter with a throw to Cribbs, who gets the 1st down. And now we're inside a minute. At the 19 yards away from winning this game. Brock throws it left side. He's intercepted. This one's picked off by Jeff Rasmussen, and this time he will go all the way, trying to be tracked down but won't be caught. It's a 79-yard pick six, and that feels like an absolute dagger. Rasmussen sat down on the low crosser, and he takes it to the house. 31-21 your score. That 2-point possession with 30 seconds to go. Brock back on offense, just trying to do something with it, and he gets picked off for the 3rd time. Stephon Dalton with it, and that will do it. Mississippi State will come to Columbia and pull off the upset. Final score 31-21, and the Bulldogs beat South Carolina and effectively end any sort of chance that we have of entering the college football playoff. Just shame for this South Carolina team. Allen Mock, 247 yards, 90% completion, 2 touchdowns. I feel like once every season we have a game where we play a pretty subpar quarterback, and he just goes full Super Saiyan on us and just absolutely cooks us. There's no reason Mock should have had the kind of game he did, but he did not miss a single throw. Everything was on the money, accurate, and we lose this game. The defense did not play good. They got no pressure on him as well. And I want to highlight this one thing. Look at the blocking stats for Ness. 16 pancakes. Greg Boddard and Enrique Leo and Casey are getting absolutely bodied this game. 16 pancakes is insane, and we dropped this game to the Bulldogs. We get a couple of commits. Isaiah Cisco, the 4-star from Indiana, the top player in that state, will commit to South Carolina, as well as Alfonso Bond, a wide receiver, 4-star from Logan, Alabama. Cisco is a power rusher, 6'5", 274. He'll probably fill the Greg Bodden role as he graduates and as Cisco gets more playing time. And then Alfonso Bond is a nice physical receiver at 6'2", 200. He can maybe make the contested catches with a little bit of speed as well. We do lose out on this athlete, Stephen Smythe, but that's okay with me because, we got Bonds, and I feel like Smythe was the worst of the wide receivers we were going after. He goes to Ole Miss. So here are your top stories coming out of the week. Auburn and LSU will do battle this week in a big rivalry, trying to effectively be a playoff eliminator. Baylor goes down to Kansas 40-28, and then we finally see Miami, Ohio's big performance from Connor Savage. Here are your scores from week number 12 on Thursday. Arizona gets a Big 12 victory over Kansas State, and TCU does the same against Utah in a Big 12 rematch. The Horned Frogs dominate. Colorado also beats Houston, a big night for the Big 12 as they had 4 games on Thursday, including Iowa State slaughtering Oklahoma State. We get to Saturday where San Diego State will beat Utah State to start, and then Hawaii knocks off Northern Illinois in conference. Toledo finally looks like the MAC team to beat as they beat Eastern Michigan this week. Pitt survives SMU by a point out in Texas. Miami, Ohio dominates Buffalo behind Savage's performance. In the game of the week, Florida does lose to Auburn, so the Gators have lost back-to-back games after beating Georgia, and Auburn now moves up to number 11 trying to defend their title. Rice knocks off UAB in a big loss for the Blazers, and then Charlotte enters the rankings by beating USF. Oregon stays at number 1, beating Illinois this week, while also in the Big Ten, Minnesota will knock off Maryland. Western Michigan gets the victory over Central Michigan in the race for that Michigan trophy. And then Georgia Tech with a dominant victory over Louisville, who is only 1-9 this season. East Carolina, a tough victory on the road against Memphis, and Clemson has entered the rankings on the back of this winning streak as they knock off Wake Forest. Great, Clemson's getting hot right before we play them. New Mexico State over Liberty in conference, and Coastal Carolina does the same to South Alabama. Ole Miss knocks off Alabama by 10, and then New Mexico hangs 55 up on the Spartans. FAU goes into the Alma and beats UTSA 38-32. Sam Houston State with a road victory over Middle Tennessee State. Appalachian State blows Marshall out of the water this week in the Sun Belt, and then we saw the score of Kansas knocking off Baylor, one of the top teams in the Big 12. Western Kentucky up to number 12. They beat Kennesaw State. The Hilltoppers trying to get back to the playoff. Temple with a low-scoring affair beats Navy, and then Nevada will knock off Texas State in the Mountain West. UTEP wins by 6 also in the same conference over Wyoming, and Rutgers gets a nice road victory against Southern California 27-24. Florida State drops another ACC game, this time at home to Cal as their disappointing season continues. Georgia puts up 52 on Arkansas, who have free-fallen out of the SEC picture. Fresno State up to number 15, beating UNLV in conference this week, and Washington knocks off UCLA. Remember when UCLA was the number 2 team in the country? They have also just ejected themselves from any sort of playoff contention. Tulane over Tulsa. Tennessee knocks off Missouri on the road by 14. Army with a close victory over North Texas. Syracuse beats UConn by a touchdown. Same with Troy over James Madison. Nebraska gets a big victory over the Buckeyes, 37-34. Ohio State falls to 6-4, while Nebraska's back up to number 13. Oklahoma beats Texas A&M 27-17, and then Penn State stays at number 2 this week as they beat Purdue 29-10. Virginia Tech dominates Boston College. Northwestern with a close victory over Indiana. NC State also with a close victory over their rivals in Duke. West Virginia with a close victory over Cincinnati. And then LSU beats Kentucky this week for their big matchup with Auburn. Florida International over Jacksonville State 27-10, while Arkansas State wins a 10-7 game against Louisiana. Central Florida beats Air Force this week in a non-conference matchup. Ohio over Ball State. Bowling Green also in the MAC beats Kent State. Arizona State over BYU. Michigan State loses again, this time to Iowa. The Spartans have taken a little bit of a tumble down the stretch. They're all the way down to number 24. And then finally, Boise State will knock off Washington State in the Pac-12. Players of the week, we know it's Connor Savage of Miami, Ohio. Derek Colombo of Fresno State had 10 catches for 126 yards and 4 total touchdowns, while your SEC players were Lee Lord of Alabama and Kevin Rusnak of Georgia. Here's a look at your top 25, and again, Notre Dame falls a spot. They've been idle for a couple of weeks, and they go from 3 to 4 now, so the only undefeated team in the country continues to go down. I don't know if that's necessarily fair to them. And then obviously the other big story is there's no South Carolina Gamecocks in the top 25 for the first time this season. We are not in that conversation. Here are your big games this week, and it all belongs to the SEC and the Big Ten, to nobody's surprise. Number 5, Oklahoma will play number 3, Georgia, in a huge matchup in the SEC that they could meet again in the championship game. We know LSU versus Auburn in the Big Ten. Washington, number 16, will play host to number 8, Michigan. And the number 1 team in the land, Oregon, will play host to Ohio State. This week, we'll stay at home to face the Texas Longhorns, who sit 5-6. 2 teams that had playoff aspirations before the season, and both teams have disappointed in the SEC this year. But this is not going to be an easy game. The Texas Longhorns are a good team, and now that South Carolina is out of any sort of playoff contention, does this team have any sort of motivation to play good down the stretch? It's been a disappointing season, but you want to finish strong, and this is going to be up to Coach Rob and the coaching staff to get this team motivated to finish the year strong after what was a very disappointing loss. But thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry we just can't get anything going, man. I just feel like today I just could not stop Mississippi State no matter what I threw at them. Alma just absolutely cooked us. So hopefully we can get back in the win column next week, finish the season strong, and hopefully next year we'll finally get to that college football playoff. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you drop that like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more Dynasty Mode content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.